Glass Onion. It debuted on Wednesday last week, so basically actually directly a week from today. So it's been a huge hit. It's been the most, here we go here. Netflix CEO talks Glass Onion release. We're not trying to build a theatrical business, he says. That's Reed Hastings, I believe. Yeah, Reed Hastings. So he goes on in this article here to just basically say that they're not changing their strategy. And he's kind of like downplaying the theatrical window like it's just a marketing strategy, right? Because basically Glass Onion made about 13 million, I think, in its opening weekend. So that's pretty significant given that most films with prestige behind them are barely scratching 1 million on opening weekend. Of course, The Fabelmans being the most spectacular face drop that's come out this fall Oscar season, which is really unheard of. I mean, you have a master director in Steven Spielberg releasing his opus in a way. I mean, it's his most personal story, and it's just completely blown over or under everybody's radar, and nobody seems to give two craps about seeing the film. And I went to see it, and I have to say I was a bit dragging my heels about it, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was fantastic. Anyway, that's for another conversation. Right now we're talking about Glass Onion. So Reed Hastings here, he says, so with film, we release them typically at film festivals early to stimulate conversation and demand, but not to fulfill that demand. All right. Except when it launches on Netflix and everybody watches, he continues. Our week in, a small number of theaters has done exactly that. I think that's supposed to say 1 week in, not our week in. I think it's supposed to say 1 week in. 1 week in, a small number of theaters has done exactly that. Small number being 682 odd theaters. Small compared to, 4,000 for the big comic book movies. A small number of theaters has done exactly that. Everybody's talking about it and is excited about Glass Onion. It's going to be huge on December 23rd. That's when it opens on Netflix, or drops on Netflix. The whole world's going to get to see it, and I think it'll be one of our biggest films. Does it matter to you, Mr. Algorithm? And so it's a promotional tactic like film festivals, and if it works well, we'll do more of it. Sure. It's a promotional tactic, right? So does that mean they don't give a shit about Oscars and awards anymore? Isn't it an Oscar tactic? Because it's not going to get nominated for an Oscar if it doesn't open in a theater. He doesn't talk about that here. So yeah, I think this article basically says they left a lot of money on the table, because I mean, just think of it. It's playing for a week and then it's shelved until it opens on Netflix, right? The Whodunit starring Daniel Craig opened in 638. I got my numbers crossed there. U.S. cinemas, so it would also open in a whole bunch up here in Canada. And I think up here in Canada it's actually playing through, because I think it's not just the week, but we'll keep an eye on that. And reportedly grossed in the region of 13 million in its first 5 days. That ranks not only as a streamer's highest grossing theatrical performance to date, but would have placed Glass Onion third. But would have? What do you mean would have? It did. In the North American box office charts over a dismal Thanksgiving holiday weekend. It is estimated to have grossed 15 million over the entire week. Pardon me. Asked by Sorkin, that's not Aaron Sorkin, but the guy who's writing this article, if he would ever consider a week-long release in 3,000 cinemas for 1 or 2 weeks. It's like, please, sir, please give us more. Hastings replied, 2 religions, member satisfaction and operating income. All right, Mr. Cryptic here. That's what we're focused on. We use this as a promotional technique. Yeah, you already said that. So that more people watch it on Netflix. We're not trying to build a theatrical business. God forbid we support the theater-going experience that movies were designed for. We're trying to get people so excited and break through the noise. All right. So everybody's clamoring to see it. Then everybody's going to watch it on December 23rd. God, what language, eh? Clamoring to see it. Well, that's in square brackets, so what does that mean? Did he not say that? We're not trying to build a theatrical business. No, you're not, eh? We're trying to get people... This is what I don't get, okay? You're not trying to build a theatrical business, but you make a massively budgeted film with all the production design and support and everything that's, on par with any studio-made theatrical film, right? So it just doesn't make any sense to me. It's like, why wouldn't you support theaters and community and people going, if they want to see it that way, they should be able to see it that way. How many extra subscribers, new subscribers do you think Netflix is going to get because Glass Onion is on the service? I think this is where I think they're misguided in their thinking, because it's like, preserve the theatrical experience. You've got to do that. That's very special. And it needs all the help it can get right now. And you've got these hot properties that people want to see. And so let them see it in the theater and then release it on Netflix, right? Like it's the video release. So you have a proper theatrical window release, the way it should be, Maybe that's shortened down to 30 days now, 60 days, whatever. But then, withhold the VOD. So it comes out on Netflix a week before VOD. Can you rent? I haven't even looked in that. Can you rent Netflix movies on iTunes? Like, I don't know. Whatever big Netflix, like, can you rent The Irishman on Apple? Can you rent Two Popes on Apple? Anyway, that's just me, moviegoer guy, talking here. The CEO said the company was late to the advertising game and has not understood he's late to the advertising game. Oh, is that right? And had not understood there was demand from advertisers to reach that demographic through smart TVs. Netflix launches its basic with ads supported tier at the start of November. Ooh, how exciting. More ads. Great. So there you go. That's a little insight into Netflix mindset. I was going to talk about the fact that, Knives Out. So when it came out 3 years ago in 2019, it debuted at the Toronto International Film Festival. And here you can see it made $26 million on its opening weekend. So already Glass Onion has made half of that, which, considering it's a Netflix release and was only released in 638 theaters, does it tell you here how many theaters it was released on originally? Yeah, look at that. November 27, 2019. It was released in 3,391 theaters. It's a per theater average of 2,498. Of course, you're not going to get these numbers now with Netflix, right? That's why. So look at that. So with 3.4 thousand theaters, 3,400 theaters, it made 26 million. And now with 638 theaters, it's made 13 million. Do the math on that. What is that, like a quarter of the theaters? It's like a fifth the number of the theaters, and it's made half the gross. So that tells you that it's actually made 2 to 3 times more money than the original in its first weekend, right? I'm just roughing the math out in my head. So that's incredible, right? So basically, if you take the 13 million it made out of 638 theaters, so let's say that's a fifth of the 3,300 theaters, right? It's about a fifth, maybe even a sixth. So, you know, you divide 26 by 5, that's 5 million. And then so if it was on par, it would have only made 5, but it made 13. So that's basically 2.5 times more. It made 2.5 times more box office in its opening weekend than it did originally, with the original, right? So if everything had been the same number of theaters, it would have made 13 times 2.5 million. So, you know, what's that? I don't know, 40 million? It could have, yeah, so it would have made, if it was released as it should have been, as a proper theatrical release, it would have made between 40 to $50 million on its opening weekend. Just think about that for a second, right? When you've got Spielberg, he can't even make 10 cents on The Fabelmans, and you've got friggin' Glass Onion here, which would have dropped at like 50 million on its opening weekend if it wasn't a Netflix fucking streaming thing. So that really sucks. That sucks for theaters, and it sucks for audiences. I have to say it does. So anyway, so we've got Glass Onion now. Whoopie-doo, it's going to go to streaming, and everyone can sit in their living rooms and watch it on their couch. Yay. All right. So yeah, that's kind of a real bummer here. I thought I had the Glass Onion thing here. Let's go to Glass Onion. There we go. So there you go. Oh, look, it gives you some numbers here. Oh, it does give you some numbers. Box office. Oh, so they have, yeah, so 696. So it means outside of the US, I guess what, it only dropped in Canada then? Because that's only like less than another 60 theaters from what the article said. Okay, here, look, per theater average, 2,800, right? What was it? Knives Out was, look at that. Per theater average, it made another 400 from Knives Out. So yeah, like I said, it would have easily doubled or trebled its opening weekend box office. So Glass Onion basically slayed the friggin' box office like crazy here with 50 million. It's a $50 million opening at least. So yeah, they definitely left money on the table. Well, there you go. Glass Onion out on Netflix. Well, that's my little chat about Glass Onion box office, etc. I'm not sure where I'll clip this. I think I'll clip this here just to have the clips separated. Gotta keep them separated. All right, thank you for watching. What do you think about this? These box office numbers for Glass Onion? Did you go out and see it in that 1 week window? And if you did you enjoy it? Are you excited that it comes out on Netflix and you got to wait for it for 4 weeks? See, you know, sorry, I'm going to go off on another one here. The thing about Netflix is, what I don't get is, I don't think anyone's going to leave or jump onto this streaming service because of Glass Onion. I think, you know, if Netflix produces these 3 or 4 prestige movies every year around the Oscar season, they should release them like normal movies. But I don't know the business. I don't know what it costs to put it in theaters, all that stuff. I'm just saying, as someone who loves cinema and the preservation of the theatrical experience, in my humble opinion, it should be these 3 or 4 prestige. They have another one coming out this weekend, White Noise, right? Noah Baumbach, which again, that they already got him on Marriage Story, you know, a couple of years back. So he's their like in-house auteur among the few they have. So that's dropping. I'm going to go see it in the Art House Theater here. I don't, you know, there's definitely a place for Netflix, and it has so much content. You know, I think that the strength of it is that it has this ocean of content from across the world, internationally. Like, so that's what I'm saying. It's like Netflix is all about like binging shows and, you know, that those numb the pain shows, right? Emily Goes to Paris, whatever. You just sit down and you feel good because something colorful and fun and non-offensive or whatever is on TV, and you know, you just whatever, watch it. But like when it comes to prestige movies that are made by auteurs that, you know, have dense scripts and powerful acting and all that stuff, it needs to be seen in a theater where you have the proper attention and focus on the movie. And, it would be like debuting works of art in your living room, instead of going to a gallery where you have a space to look at the painting with the proper lighting and the space around it and the time to contemplate it. Someone just brings it into your kitchen or something, right? And you're trying to look at it against the noise of all the dirty dishes and stuff you've left around. Anyway, I'm off on one. I'm gonna cap it there. My little diatribe dive into the Glass Onion box office. I hope you enjoyed this, and thank you again for watching. Please leave your comments down below. I read them all and try to answer them as best I can, and I love being in a conversation with you guys, so please do comment and like and subscribe. And if you like this video, please share it with a friend. Just getting going on this YouTube thing, and but I really enjoy doing it. I enjoy providing whatever benefit I can to you, the moviegoer, the content watcher. So thank you again for watching, and please do like and subscribe and comment. I want to know what you think. Do you think Netflix should have longer release windows? Do you think they should take their prestige movies and treat them like real feature films made by the big studios, the big feature film studios? Well, let me know what you think. In this life of love, when you never stick around. See, I never gave a damn about this world, well anyhow.